Sunday, June 24th, 2018. Destination, Cleveland, Ohio for Agency Nation's Elevate 2018. Now my daughter has her dance recital that day. So I'm already going to be a day late, which is absolutely okay. Wouldn't miss my daughter's dance recital for the world. So around 4:30, her last dance is done. I book out of there before even the finale. I jump in the truck and I head to Manchester Airport. I have a date with the 5 a.m. club at 6 a.m. the next morning, so there's no way I can miss that. Plus, we have Ryan Hanley's official opening keynote. Now, I know I was already getting jacked up with all the Twitter and Facebook messages amongst all the people in the 5 a.m. club, photos of the view from their hotel room. A couple folks were going to an Indians game, so I was getting excited just sitting there ready to go. So we load in on the plane from Manchester to Cleveland by way of Philly. Hi, this is your captain speaking. I hope you're all comfortable because Philadelphia is not taking any inbound flights at this time. Excuse me? What? Come again? That's right. They were delaying any flights into Philadelphia because of some severe weather. That works. You know what? I'll show up there a little bit late. All the flights are going to be delayed. I'll just show up in Cleveland a little bit later. No. They were only delaying flights coming in. They were still setting out planes on time. So I'm going to miss my connecting flight. That's not going to cut it. So I was working with the ticket agent. We were trying to get creative of, hey, let's have 8 different connecting airports. Or what if I drive down to Boston? No, not going to make it in time for the last flight to Cleveland. All right, next morning. When's the earliest I can get into Cleveland from any of those local airports to me? 12:30? Are you kidding? Do they know about Elevate? My 6 a.m. meetup with a 5 a.m. club? Ryan Hanley's hitting the stage at 8 o'clock. There's no way I can be that late. But seriously, what I start doing is I start freaking out. And I decide there's no way I can miss this. So I get an idea. And I say, you know what? What if I rent a car and drive? I can make it out there. So I get on the phone with my wife, Kristen, and I tell Kristen, hey, I missed the flight. There's no way I'm flying into Cleveland tonight. If I fly tomorrow, I'm going to be too late. I'm thinking about renting a car. And she said, okay. And I mentioned earlier about how far it was, and she said, what's that, about a 5-hour drive? 10 hours. But what does she say? She turns around and says, would you like a relief driver? I was like, are you serious? And she's like, yeah. I live about 40 minutes away from Manchester Airport up in New Hampshire. So she said, by the time you get home, I'll have the kids packed and we'll be ready to go. Keep in mind, we'll be leaving the house about 9 p.m. For those of you doing math at home, that means 7 a.m. is when I show up the next day. The time frames are going to work out. I'm going to rent the car right now. I'll be home in a little bit, and then we'll hit the road. So let's fast forward. We make pretty good time. 6:45, we arrive at the downtown Hilton in Cleveland. I'm obviously disheveled. We're all tired. Kids are half awake. They're going to be fighting, which, you know what? I'm going to be at a conference all day now. Sorry, Kristen. But I said, you know what? Wait here. I'm going to go check us in. We'll come back out. We'll get the bags. So I walk in, stumbling in, tired, looking like an unmade bed. And who is walking in from the right? But Ryan Hanley and Sydney Rowe. What are the odds? Couldn't I just get up to my room and not run into anybody looking like a mess? No, of course not. So Ryan comes up, gives a classic bro hug, and he's like, dude, I saw her on social media. What's going on? You missed a flight? And I told him the story. His jaw dropped. Sydney couldn't believe it as well. And anybody that attended Elevate knew what she was going to tell me about right now. Nature's Adderall. It's a little coffee shop that I swear she owns stock in this coffee shop. But she was telling me, you got to get down there or I can get you some. I said, you know what? I just need to run up. I need to shower. So I check in, run upstairs, drop the bags off, shower, and I run downstairs and I start running into the 5 a.m. club. I see Joey, I see Woody, I see Tracy, anybody else that ends with a Y. And then we're heading down to the keynote. I actually made it. Saw a couple of folks from my company. They couldn't believe the journey as well. And then the keynote starts.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Hanley.
Welcome everybody, thanks for coming. Where's John Bachman? Stand up. John, stand up, where are you?
There he is.
All right. Dude's plane gets canceled, coming from New Hampshire. Packs up his family and drives here overnight 10 hours to be here with us this morning. John, that means more to me than you'll ever know.
Dude, that just happened. I sit down. My vice president's sitting right next to me. He throws a couple jokes my way. And then Ryan asked the 5 a.m. club to stand up. I couldn't stand up. My legs weren't working. So, when the proclaimers talk about walking 500 miles, they got nothing on this guy. And I'll tell you what, I cannot wait for Elevate 2019 in New Orleans. But I'll tell you one thing, this guy is not driving down to the Big Easy. JB, out.